Welcome back to Wisconsin Family, and we're inside today, but we are still at Rock and Wool Winery
This
here
is
in Poinet.
such a great place. I think
Yeah.
Chris said it well. This is like the coolest barn ever.
Coolest barn ever.
Literally the coolest barn ever. This is Chris Martingilio from Martingilio Martial Arts. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Great. It's always good to have you here. We learn so much from you. You have a program that you have called Self-Defense Rescripted, and this is a program that's dedicated or geared mainly towards women.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that is? What is Self-Defense Rescripted?
Yeah. Self-defense rescripted is about changing the narrative, making it so that when somebody is attacking you, they've got a plan. They've picked out a victim. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this is the outcome. We're going to change that. We're going to rescript that plan. As soon as they touch and they're in pain, because we grab a finger, do something to them, all of a sudden they don't want to be there anymore.
Right.
The movie script that they had in their head has been rescripted.
Right.
Okay.
And go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just follow up on that question. So you're basically saying that, sadly, attackers set out with a plan in mind. I mean,
Correct.
this is all very premeditated.
Yeah.
So they're looking for a specific, maybe someone that looks like a victim or is
Right.
behaving in a certain way. So you've got steps, I'm imagining, to sort of, like you said, change that script. What are some things that you would do in order to change the
A
narrative?
lot of times there's a touch. They're grabbing a hold of something. So, I work with small children. I've worked with seniors. And so what's the easiest thing to do? What can I get a hold of? If I grab you, you're going, oh, you're big, you're strong. I can't do that. What if you grab a hold of just my pinky? That's
Right.
going to really hurt. You're going to get a hold of one thing.
Yeah.
We usually bend that finger back and push it in, and all of a sudden
yeah,
it
I can
hurts.
just feel the pain just
Right.
thinking about it.
And
Yeah.
so now instead of going against an arm or a muscle or the full body weight, they're able to pick on something that works.
Right.
I love that we've touched on this before, but I think it's really important because the type of self-defense that you teach isn't for strength against strength. It's for, any person.
Right.
Size doesn't matter, age
Size
doesn't
doesn't
matter,
matter,
to be able to defend themselves in a tough situation. And building on that same topic, you've recently worked with some seniors, nurses, all kinds of different folks that you work with
Right.
that probably don't have some real big physical strength.
Right.
What's the benefit to them? What kinds of things are you doing with them?
Well, with the hospice workers, we were talking about people with dementia, and we know that they're not trying to hurt the nurses or anyone else, but you can't allow them to hurt you, so you have to find a way to help them. So we could think about it. If you're grabbing hold of me, I could help your arm down and stop you from doing this nicely.
Right.
I don't want to have to bam and hit you.
Right, yeah.
That's not what I'm after.
Right.
I need to stop that arm from doing it, and so I need to find a way. And so I have to use those principles. The same ones we use for self-defense can be applied to a humane tactic.
Sure.
And then I don't have to hurt you, but I can stop you from hurting yourself or from hurting myself.
That's really interesting because that's a whole nother realm. I mean, you're dealing with somebody then who isn't necessarily an attacker.
Right.
You've got maybe some problems or some
Yeah.
issues, and that has to be dealt with in a little bit different manner.
It has to be dealt with in a totally different manner. I worked special education for a lot of years in the school district, and we had kids that were violent and disruptive, and I am not going to hurt a child, but I'm not going to let him hurt another child. I'm not going to let him hurt himself.
Right.
So I've had to get a hold of kids before, and in a very humane manner, without injury, without any kind of we think that karate's about assault. It's not about
Right.
that. It's not what we're doing. We have to stop somebody from hurting themselves, and that's what we teach.
And you have a great website with some great video and a great YouTube
yeah.
channel as well.
Right.
And there's some demonstrations on there where, a lot of times people think of the
Right.
when they think martial arts.
I know they do.
and
Right. Too many movies.
Right,
Right.
there's too many movies, but it really doesn't have to be that way. It can be a lot more simple, and the bottom line is if it protects you,
Right.
then it works.
Well, no one will ask us anytime soon to get into any movies because we're not fancy.
Right.
It works. It doesn't look like we did anything.
Yeah.
And so they don't want us in the movies.
Right, right.
Because it's just like, what did you do? That doesn't. They want the big movements.
Sure.
And
It's
so
not
that's
flashy,
what,
it's
right.
not showy.
And so that's what people think that this is, and it's not. It's really about
Right.
enabling a 60-year-old woman or an 80-year-old woman or a 5-year-old child or to be able to do something.
Right.
And not have to worry about, well, I'm not strong enough.
Sure.
Or I can't kick above my head.
Sure. And you mentioned, you know, 60-year-old women and so forth. I mean, is this something that could be open to anybody? I mean, because certainly there's probably men out there who feel like they could use a lesson in self-defense.
When I worked with the Milwaukee police, I was working with a small group of people that were defense and arrest tactics practitioners, and we were teaching them the Rescripted program. It was fantastic. They're going, why don't we have this information?
Right.
And it's just different, you know. It's not what they're thinking of when they need to arrest somebody, that they would use a finger to get somebody down and handcuff them without having to use more force.
Right. Yeah.
And so there's a lot of it. I had a 7-year-old woman that wrote me an email that said, I thought that this was going to be a violent class, and I can do everything you taught.
Right.
And I was like, oh, thank you. You know, to get that kind of feedback from somebody of that age.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really for everyone.
Right.
Wheelchair bound or perfect health, doesn't matter.
Right.
We got everything from the worst to the best and in between.
Yeah.
So
And you've got some other great classes there, including Tai Chi that you offer. I would encourage you to check out their website. Check out his website. This is Chris Martingilio from Martingilio Martial Arts. Thank you so much
Thanks,
for joining
Chris.
us today.
Nice
Thank
to see
you.
you.
Don't go away. There's more Wisconsin Family coming up right here at Rock and Wool Winery on Channel 57. Don't go away.